Okay, here we go again. First of all, I want to pull out the cotter pin. They usually use a long nose for that. You want to try to get them straight so you can pull it out. Some people will reuse this, or you can put a new cotter pin in, whatever you want to do. Take your time with these. What happens is if you got an older one and stuff, you can get it caught inside there. So I want to get this as straight as possible when I take this out. Cotter pin, so it comes out easily. You can hook your long nose in there and pull it out. So that's how you pull the cotter pin out. Okay, this one's a 23 millimeter. You want to get it on there fixed. If you can always use a 6-point socket, so you're not going to strip as much. Now this here, there's a hole in the axle, and I'm going to put this in there to hold this, to loosen this up. Another thing too, you always go clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise. I always set it before I use it. Put that on there. Put this in the axle. So it's going to go right up in the frame. So you can loosen this up. That's the axle nut. Get it good and loose and stuff like that. Then you take your tire and go like this. You take your wheel off. Never pound on the threads with a metal hammer. You leave the nut about there, and then you can hit on that where it's on most of the threads, but don't, you still could damage it. So we got this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, like I said, this type is already done right. So I'm going to loosen it up and let you kind of know how it would be if it's loosened. Now these are the chain adjusters. So I want to loosen this up to get this loose. See, I got this, push this ahead. Now look at the chain. That's too loose. See that? That's too loose. Pull it back because I was actually hitting on that rubber there. So if you were driving your motorcycle and the wheel was loose in that, you'd be glad you had that cotter pin in there, and you should be able to notice that. So that's super loose. Okay, so now I'm going to take my hand, and I'm going to bring this in, not completely tight, well, because I have my hand in it, so I want to get it in there. So we make sure we have our adjusters in there. So I'm going to pull back, because we know by hand. This side, feel this. Okay, now if you look closely, there's little marks here. Okay, this one's on the third mark right now, right there. But if you take a look here, you can't see it right, but this one here is a lot farther out on the adjuster. So what we want to do, kick this over. So these kind of look the same, but this one needs to come in. You want to get it, what they call free play. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3.5. I'm on there. So I'm just about 3.5 here. You can kind of tell because this has got about 3/8 of an inch, and it's about 3/8 of an inch. This has to come in a little bit more. Okay, so that's about right. That's right there. So take a look at it here. It looks like it's centered in the rim. You don't want it hitting on your swing arm or on this side on the brake component. So we got that. So we're pretty good right there. And double check it, 3.5. This one's a little more than 3.5. So we're gonna back this one off. Okay. So now we have the chain tightened where it should be. I switch my wrench to tighten. It's a 23. This is a different nut. It doesn't depend. It doesn't make a difference what. It's nice and tight. Might even be too tight, but it's not that big a thing. The wheel spins, pretty freely, and it doesn't stop. So now we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up again good. You don't want your wheel fall. You want it tight. So that's pretty tight. Coming from an old guy. Okay, so what I need to do now is put my safety pin back in. I'm gonna reuse this one because it's like brand new, and this pipe doesn't really. Try to get it straight if you can, best you can. Okay, so these bikes been sitting over winter time, and we want to get this. So my fingers, my old guy fingers. So we want to get it where it's all the way up against there, where it's not, no one's going to cut their leg or anything. There's two types of these axle nuts. Some of them have a castle nut. This one here came with this one when I bought the bike, and I haven't changed it because it is adequate. So I want to get this up out of the way. So now my pin isn't good. Another thing that people don't do that often is lubricate this chain, because they'll last longer. They also make an O-ring chain that kind of has it built in. But you can get chain lube and spray it on there, and it's super sticky. It's super hard to clean up when you're done with it. Or you can take, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a rag, I'll put a little bit of oil on it, and I'll rub it on there and stuff like that. So these are all my opinions. I've been working on bikes for 40 years. I rebuilt my first motorcycle engine when I was 14 years old. It was actually on a Honda SL100, believe it or not. I could take this engine out in 45 minutes and have it apart, because they're good running bikes, these old Hondas. They're super highly collectible. People love them. I said this one didn't have a title, so I turned it into a flat track racer. And like I said, if you get one of these lifts, they're nice. When you put this strap on there, it's super safe. I'm going to show you how to do it. There's a kind of interesting. I got a Suzuki DR650. It has the cam adjusters, and I'm going to show you how to do it on there because it's easier. But it's somebody must have the patent on it or something too. I don't know why more motorcycles don't go to belt drive like Harleys. But there it is, folks. How to change it. Tighten the cycle chain. Thank you.